When Gene Hackman registered for the acting class at the Pasadena Playhouse, he was discouraged by fellow classmates, saying that he started too late at the age of 30 and didn't have the looks of a leading man. Gene's answer years later was, "I didn't come to train to be a movie star. I trained to be an actor." Eugene Allen Hackman has earned 2 Academy Awards. He's been nominated 5 times. He has 4 Golden Globes and 1 Screen Actors Guild Award and numerous other accolades. Kevin Costner said that Gene Hackman was the best actor he had ever worked with. The actor was born January the 30th, 1930 in San Bernardino, California, to Eugene Ezra Hackman and wife Lydia Elizabeth Gray. After Gene's birth, the family will move around for a few years, finally settling at 2101 Cannon Street in Danville, Illinois, at the home of Gene's maternal grandparents. Gene's dad got a job at the local paper, the Commercial News, as a printing press operator, and Gene recounted a story that when he was 5 years old, he would sometimes wander into the backyard of a sweet lady who, when she seen him, would always bring him cookies to eat. One day he remembered seeing several police cars at her house. After that, he didn't remember seeing her anymore. Later, as he got older, he learned that the lady's husband had shot and killed her, and then shot himself. It was determined that the man crawled around inside the house for 3 days before dying. It bothered Gene for years growing up, and he said he thought of her and her kindness often. This is Gene with his family at the age of 8. He remembered at the age of 10 his mother telling him that she would someday like to see him in movies. That same year, on March 8, 1940, Gene's parents had a baby boy. They named Richard Lee Hackman. Richard will enter the movie business like his older brother, but in later life, Richard preferred to live a much quieter life. In 1943, when Gene was 13 and Richard was 3, their dad, Eugene Ezra, left the family without a word to his boys. He only waved goodbye as he left. They would still see him on occasion, but he was no longer a part of the family. Gene and Robert was raised mostly by their grandmother, Beatrice Gray. Their mother's drinking habits got worse after her divorce. He remembered fondly his mother's love for movies and her taking him to see his favorite movie star, James Cagney. Gene attended Danville High School, and his sophomore year he attended Storm Lake High School for a short time. Gene had troubled teenage years, once being arrested for stealing candy and Cokes. Having trouble with his high school basketball coach caused him to drop out of school, and for a brief time going to work at a local steel mill. Hackman was desperate to find a way to live, and at the age of 16, he lied about his age and was able to join the Marine Corps. He was assigned as a field radio operator and sent to Shanghai, China. After the communists took over, he was reassigned to Japan and Hawaii. He said he had a problem with authority and was busted several times, but he did manage to pass his high school equivalency test. In 1951, his enlistment was up and he was discharged. After service, he returned back to Danville for a short time. Taking advantage of the GI Bill, he registered at the University of Illinois to study journalism and television productions. Now, during this period, Gene also worked odd jobs as a radio announcer, a shoe salesman, and a truck driver. In 1955, he met Faye Maltese while attending a New York YMCA dance. She was a bank clerk, and the two hit it off right away. They'll marry on January the 1st, 1956. He was 25 and she was 28. By 1956, Hackman had decided to become an actor with full support of his new wife. He entered classes at the Pasadena Playhouse in California, also using the GI Bill. At the Playhouse, Gene had met another outcast actor, Dustin Hoffman. The two was voted by classmates as the most unlikely to succeed. Gene was almost 30, too late to start a career, and he was married. Hoffman was too short to be successful. Hackman received the lowest score ever given by the Playhouse. Gene will soon leave the Playhouse and return to New York to try his hand on stage with summer stock and off-Broadway. Hoffman will return to New York after finishing classes. He moved in the one-bedroom apartment at 2nd Avenue and 26th Street with Hackman and his wife. Hoffman slept on the kitchen floor. Gene said that Hoffman was only going to stay a few days, but didn't want to leave. He had to finally take him by the hand and lead him apartment hunting. Hackman remembered working as a doorman, one of his menial jobs that he held while trying to get his acting career started, and he was embarrassed when he opened the door for a Marine officer that had once told Hackman, "Hackman, you're a SOB." On January the 1st, 1960, Gene and Faye had a baby boy they named Christopher Allen Hackman. Christopher will grow up and stay in show business behind the scenes, and will also become a writer of computer software. In May 1961, Gene will perform as an unaccredited policeman in a fantasized gangster movie named Mad Dog Cole. And the next year, on August the 19th, 1962, Gene and Faye will have their second child, a daughter, Elizabeth Jean. Elizabeth will grow up trying to keep her life mostly private and out of the public eye. 4 months after the birth of their daughter, Gene will be shocked to find out that his mother, Lottie, had passed away on December the 30th, 1962. She had gone to sleep while smoking in bed and was unable to get out. Lottie Elizabeth was 57 years old. Gene said that his biggest regret was that his mother never got to see him on the big screen. In 1964, Gene will be cast as the young suitor in the Broadway play Any Wednesday with Sandy Dennis. This role will lead him to be cast as Norman in 1964 film Lydiath that starred Warren Beatty. On 9 October 1966, Gene and Faye will have their third child, Leslie Ann. The next year, 1966, after Leslie Ann was born, Gene Hackman got the breakout part that he had been looking for. Warren Beatty produced and starred with Faye Dunaway in Bunny and Clyde. Beatty remembered his old friend from his earlier film, Lydiath. With Beatty's help, Gene got the part of Buck Barrow, Clyde's older brother. Estelle Parsons played Blanche Barrow, Buck's wife. For his part as Buck Barrow, Hackman will be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. In 1970, Gene again will be nominated as a supporting actor for the Academy Award for I Never Sang for My Father, about a man whose mother dies and a grieving son is torn between his demanding father and his need to live his own life. Hackman said this movie held a special place in his heart. He only wished his mother had been able to see it. The next year, Gene will win the Academy Award for his portrayal of Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection. To prepare for the film, he rode with the New York police for over a month. He played the part of a rough police lieutenant that routinely broke the law in order to catch criminals. In 1972, Gene will star with 4 other Academy Award winners, Ernest Borgnine, Jack Albertson, Shelley Winters, and Red Buttons in The Poseidon Adventure, about an aging luxury liner on its final voyage from New York to Athens when it's hit by a tsunami. In 1974, it'll be The Conversation, about a surveillance expert who learns while listening to a young couple's conversation that they might be killed. Gene said he had based his character on his uncle and a fellow Marine that he knew, who probably by this time, he said, was a serial killer. In 1975, Hackman will reprise his role as Jimmy Popeye Doyle in The French Connection 2. About this time, Gene and Faye bought a home in Mendocino. Gene said he loved to buy houses that needed fixing up. He spent the next year and a half working on fixing the house and improving the grounds. In 1977, Hackman will be in an epic World War II movie, A Bridge Too Far. In 1978, Gene will play the villain Lex Luthor in Superman, along with Christopher Reeves and Margot Kidder. Hackman's portrayal of Lex Luthor seems more like a likable con man than a mastermind villain, such as when Luthor tells Superman, "I'll give you dimples," and then turns a machine gun on him, who of course is not even fazed. Then Luthor says to Superman, "The pressure's on you now. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the tunnel." He then turns the flamethrower on Superman, who's still unfazed. And then Luthor says, "This is your last chance, Superman." In the 1970s and 80s, Hackman became interested in auto racing. The highlight of his racing career was a seat in Dan Gurney's All-American Racer GTU Toyota Celica in the 1983 Daytona 24-hour endurance race and Riverside 6-hour race. Gene also won the Long Beach Grand Prix Celebrity Race. In 1983, Hackman will star in Uncommon Valor, about a retired Army colonel that goes to Laos to search for his son that he believed was being held as a prisoner of war. Gene once stated it was hard to hold the family together, when you're gone for 3 months at a time, and then you come home and start bossing everybody around. Along this time, Gene and Faye separated, although it'll be 1986 before they divorce. 1 year before their divorce, they will sell their Mendocino home. Faye will keep her life private after her divorce from Gene, and she'll pass away on the 26th of April, 2017, at the age of 88. In 1984, Hackman met Betty Arkawa while at a gym where he was a member and she worked. The couple will date for 7 years. While going with Betty in 1986, he'll become a high school basketball coach with a checkered past in the film Hoosiers, along with Barbara Hershey and Dennis Hopper. He'll coach a small high school basketball team to win the state finals, one of the best basketball films ever, according to many. In 1988, Gene will be in 2 excellent films. Bat 21, about an Air Force pilot shot down during the Vietnam War. His struggle to escape capture makes for a great war movie. Also in 1988, it'll be Mississippi Burning. Hackman, with William Defoe, played 2 FBI agents investigating the disappearance of 3 civil rights workers. Now this is the real Andrew Goodman, James Chaney, and Michael Schwarter. The movie was taken from the True Case investigation. For his performance, Hackman was nominated for the Academy Award. In 1990, Gene began having heart trouble. The doctors suggested a new type of surgery called angioplasty. Although he did well through the surgery, Gene took off work for over a year to recuperate. The next year, in December of 1991, Gene marries Betsy Arkawa, who was from Hawaii. Betsy was trained as a classical pianist, and the couple will eventually move to Santa Fe, New Mexico, to this beautiful home. Betsy will become a businesswoman and co-owner of Pandora's and Company, an upscale retail home furnishing store in Santa Fe. The next year after marrying Betsy, Hackman will be in Unforgiven, a Clint Eastwood film. Hackman plays the part of Little Bill Daggett, a cruel sheriff. He vowed to never be in another violent film again after playing Little Bill. He said the part of Little Bill affected him for a long time. Even though Unforgiven won Best Picture and Clint Eastwood Best Director, and Hackman won his second Academy Award for his performance of Little Bill. In 1993, Gene will play General George Crook in Geronimo, an American Legend, played by Wes Studi. Also in 1993, it'll be The Firm, about a young lawyer, Tom Cruise, who gets involved with a Memphis law firm that's being watched by the FBI. Hackman plays a law partner who mentors Tom Cruise's character. Hackman, who knows the skeletons in the closet of the firm, but is still a wannabe nice guy. In 1995, the film Crimson Tide pits the commanding officer of a U.S. nuclear sub, played by Gene, against a Soviet commander. The story parallels the real incident that occurred during the Cuban Missile Crisis. In 1999, Gene co-wrote a novel, Wake of the Perdido Star, about tales of pirates, shipwrecks, and sea adventure. 2 years later, in 2001, Hackman will be a Navy admiral who orders the rescue of a fighter pilot, played by Owen Wilson, after Serbs shoot down his plane in Bosnia. In 2004, Gene and friend Dustin Hoffman will play in their very first movie together, a John Grisham book about a groundbreaking lawyer filing a lawsuit for a widow suing a gun manufacturing company. 2004 will be a busy year for Hackman. First, he co-wrote his second book, Justice for None, where a troubled World War I veteran is on the run from the law for killing his wife and her lover. A female reporter from the Chicago Tribune is not convinced that he's guilty. Also in 2004, Hackman will play a retired president that desires to run for mayor of a small town in Welcome to Mooseport with Ray Morano. This will be Gene's last movie after he failed a heart stress test and his doctor told him that he had to make a change and take the strain off his heart. After writing 3 books with co-writer Daniel Linehan, Gene found his calling as a writer and began writing on his own, with such novels as Payback at Morning Peak and Pursuit. He said he found writing novels was his way to relax. In February 2012, while riding a bicycle in the Florida Keys, Gene was bumped from behind by a vehicle. He was flown to Jackson Memorial Hospital, suffering from body and leg injuries. The actor will recover enough that by October he will slap a much younger man for making snide remarks at he and his wife, Betsy, as they was leaving a restaurant in Santa Fe. The police, after investigating, said the actor was justified. To my knowledge, Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy still live in Santa Fe. Although Gene has retired from the movies, fans still enjoy his work in the many films and books that he writes. I have yet to see a bad Gene Hackman movie.